And that was the Yeti's cousin, Yeti.
From West Virginia.
They always start in West Virginia.
You hear the banjos?
So you learned a little bit about the Yeti's past last time, his history.
And we say Yeti, not the cooler, but the cryptid. Shout out to my boy.
I'm just going to leave.
This is Jen.
This is Becky.
Too close to home. And I've already made her roll her eyes.
I'm already sick.
Sick and tired.
Sick and tired of these shenanigans. So this is the talent I have to work with.
It's hard. This is your cross to bear.
At least JJ's got his computer out to fact check.
You called his cell phone a computer.
Close enough.
Very boomer. Will you get that computer out?
What's the Google?
Is there still an Ash Jeeves?
I bet he could ask Jeeves. So we're going to get into some fun stuff. We're already in some fun stuff, but
we're taking it to a new level.
Oh, yes.
By we, I mean Becky, and I'm just going to react. She brings the fire.
You really do have the best reaction. So the entertainment should be off the charts. So beginning in 1957, the Texas oil businessman and adventurer Tom Slick, and he's an oil man, and his last name's Slick, like an oil slick.
It was meant to be. Dun dun dun. I love how you nodded your head at the same time as me.
Because he led an expedition to the Nepal Himalayas to investigate Yeti reports, with anthropologist Professor Carlton Kuhn as one of its members. In 1958, the Tom Slick F. Kirk Johnson expedition members were shown the remains of an alleged Yeti hand.
Okay, we're moving from the scalp to the hand.
Supposedly, it was 3 centuries old, and it was housed alongside a fake scalp.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we can't go without it.
We got a scalp in his hand, but that was all.
Not a dick.
The rest got away.
Just a little scampery devil.
They came to the monastery, a bunch of rich white guys from Texas, and they were like, we just found a Yeti hand. We got to have it. And the monks were like, nah, fam. It's going to stay right here.
And did they go, the hell it will? Remember the Alamo!
Kind of. You're on the right path. So when the monks refused to let the expedition take the hand away for examination, old Peter Byrne, remember?
Peter Byrne.
He secretly...
Does it not crack you up, Peter Byrne? I'm 5.
I didn't connect the dots till you just did it for me. Thanks, Jennifer.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
For
Peter
those
Byrne.
of you that don't have them quite connected, she was pointing at her genitalia when she said Peter Byrne. Get it? You got it? All right, cool. Moving on.
Thank you for acknowledging that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for submitting that lovely piece of humor into the podcast today. The monk said, nah, bro, you're not going to take it. So Peter Byrne came, and he secretly substituted a handful of modern human finger and thumb bones for the corresponding bones of the Yeti. So
he's just carrying around a human hand?
Do people not do that?
Hold on, let me get my other...
I don't either.
I keep it in my other purse.
And I want you to envision it how I did. Very Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Switch it out.
Sweat down the brow and all. That's what I'm picturing. I could be wrong.
Whip and all.
But if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right.
I love that. I've never known you to be wrong, so.
Thank you. And I am a self-appointed cryptozoologist, so I know a thing or two.
I've seen it. She's a doctor. She stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Thank you. The hand bones, they were also, he had wired them together. And
I like how you were doing that with your hand. It made me think of Scary Movie. It's my strong hand.
You know, all I can imagine is, so there's these bones, right? And they're supposed to be a Yeti. And then homeboy pulled out some finger and thumb bones out of his back pocket, as all have it on them at all times. But they were also wired together. And nobody notice the difference.
What kind of Ed Gein arts and crafts?
He was like, I know you said we couldn't take them, so I left them there. And they're all like, side-eyeing each other. Like, do you think they know? Do you think they know? And they're like, okay, yeah, cool. Those are the ones. I'm like, okay.
That's all right.
To get them out of the country and into the United Kingdom, Slick enlisted...
They used the prison pocket?
They didn't, but close. Slick enlisted the aid of actor James Stewart and his wife Gloria, who were holidaying in India at the time. Knowing that the British customs of the time would not go through a lady's private undergarments, the Stewarts concealed the bones within the underwear packed in Gloria's suitcase and successfully smuggled them into England.
Now, that's fucking smart. Also,
I know.
What level of richness do you have to be before you can change your vacation to a holiday?
And what level of richness do you have to be before someone doesn't go through your drawers?
Like, have they not met TSA?
Right.
They probably worn my drawers.
They probably took my panties and are wearing them as well.
Yeah. I've been missing some, okay?
It's a whole another level of life I don't understand.
Yeah, have you ever had TSA leave you a note in your suitcase?
I did, along with the items they stole out of it.
Those bitches, I'm OCD and I have everything in compartments. I always bring a trash bag for my dirty clothes unless I wash them while I'm there because I'm that person.
Samesies. Ask my honey over there.
I don't want to come home and do this shit after my holiday.
Exactly.
And they go in there and they fucking open every fucking bag. Just dump your shit out. Leave a note. TSA's been here. I think I realized that.
I think when they x-ray it and they see that someone has meticulously packed, they're like, that's the fucking bag we're searching right there. We're going to fuck that shit up. And that's
how fuck up someone's OCD today? Yes.
Sometimes you have to do things at work that just to get joy out of it.
Little simple pleasures in life,
And that's how they get their pleasures.
How they get the rocks off, I guess.
I don't blame them. I'm here for it.
If I had to sit in the airport all day and not get to go anywhere fun at the end of the day,
I'm about to have so much fun tearing this bitch's stuff up, and then her husband's gonna get yelled at about it when he had nothing to do with it.
I looked at that bitch. I could definitely tell.
Like, God damn it, JJ! You see what they did to my suitcase? He's like, I didn't have anything to do with it. But shit, look at this. Do you know it? And he's just
it's your fault because you put yours on the conveyor first. Yeah. Mine would have never been touched.
If you would have just let me go first. And then he's like, this is a great start to the holiday.
My holiday.
Slick showed the bones to a number of scientists, including primatologists. So, they study primates. If you want to be one, Jennifer. Including William Charles Osmond Hill. While most of the scientists thought the bones could not be identified with any known primate, Hill initially thought that they were of human origin, before revising his opinion and declaring they could not be identified. Later, he changed his mind again and told Ivan Sanderson that the bones must have belonged to a Neanderthal. The stolen finger bones were sadly later lost.
Probably with the panties. Damn you, TSA.
I've had some fingers in my panties before.
In your prison pocket? JJ looked up like, whoa.
Huh?
Which way is this going?
Is she hitting around about later?
It's closed. That prison, it's on lockdown. Okay? Solitary.
Sorry. When Sir Edmund Hillary traveled to the Himalayas in 1960 to 61 on the World Book expedition, he examined what was left of the hand and, not knowing what Byrne had done a year previous, described it as a hoax. Essentially a human hand strung together with wire with the possible inclusion of several animal bones. Explorers were still shown the mutilated hand through to the early 1990s. And in 1991, an NBC-sponsored analysis of some skin from the hand found that it was of near human origin. And it was similar to human, but not human. The following year, the entire hand was stolen from the monastery.
Of course.
Coleman suggested it was sold into the international smuggled antiques trade.
You think, sir? You think?
We got the hand. Peter Byrne came and stole it, replaced it with a fake hand. Then the fake hand was stolen again. So,
joke's on you. We already stole it.
Got him. In 2011, the finger recovered by Peter Byrne was located in W.C. Osmond Hill's collection in a box labeled Yeti finger. DNA, they ran motherfucking DNA on it.
Just like, what boxes they have distracting you from seeing one that says Yeti finger that's taking you that long? You know, like.
Right? And who has the money to just do DNA tests on a finger that someone says was a Yeti's?
It's really.
But we got unsolved crimes out here that
Bro,
they're like, we don't
is-
have the funds to do DNA testing. It's backlogged with Yeti fingers right now.
Honestly, I want to like just have a museum to myself, no holds barred, because that has been known to happen, that they will open a closet and then find shit like Fabergé eggs. Those things are priceless, right?
Oh,
In fact, the Romanovs loved them. And at the Houston Museum of Natural Science, they have a bunch of their items that were made by Fabergé. And there's one set that they found in a fucking closet in a paper bag.
Oh.
And it had been sitting there for like fucking 70 years.
Oh.
Just in a broom closet. Like, first of all, y'all ain't cleaned that shit in 70 years.
It must have been like a Friday when they unloaded the boxes and they were like, hey, Paul, did you find anything valuable? No, it's just some paper bags. We're good. He's trying to get home to go to get the poker game.
Not knowing he missed out on an opportunity of a lifetime.
Right? He could have taken that shit home. Nobody even knew it was there.
Do you imagine the shit that we could find in the Smithsonian? We're breaking in. We're not breaking in. NSA, we're not breaking in.
FBI, it was a joke.
It's a joke. We're not about to Nick Cage the Constitution, okay?
Okay, first of all, if I'm breaking in and stealing something, it's not the Constitution.
Not a raggedy asshole piece of paper. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
It's going to be Kermit the
The
Frog.
Constitution's garbage anyway. Use it to wipe my ass. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm an American. I love America.
We were talking the other day, like, what do you love about 4th of July? And I was like, nothing. And Jimmy's like, communist. It's like, well, it's hot. There's bugs. There's fireworks. Everybody's trying to hang out. All the pools fill up, warm water, bathtub water. No, thank you.
I love the day off.
That's a good thing. Every day is my day off, though.
Oh,
So,
that's true. So that's negated with you.
yeah. Thanks, Jimmy.
So the DNA test showed conclusively that the hand came from a human, not an unknown animal. However, this DNA was later found to be that of Peter Byrne. They believe that it was probably just contamination from when he took it from the monastery. So the DNA they found was like, oh, okay, well, maybe like it's Peter. So I guess. Like,
Has anyone ever contemplated the theory that what if the Yeti is so closely related to us that it presents as human?
We're going to get to that, ma'am.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
I love this foreshadowing.
Again, yes. In 1959, supposed Yeti feces were collected by one of Slick's expeditions. Let me tell you a little backstory about Slick, too. I forgot to tell you this when I first introduced him. So Slick's dad had boomed in the oil business, and then he passed away, and he left all of his money to his son. Being a rich white child in America, he chose to take that money and spend it doing adventures for his life of cryptids. He looked for Bigfoot. He looked for the Yeti. There are books written on him about all of his adventures to find Yetis. I am one
goals.
Extremely envious, and I'm also a little bit of a hater.
I'm a little hater.
My family's not going to die and leave me cryptid money.
I need old oil baron money so I can go look for the Mothman.
Could you imagine if someone just left us enough money that's all we had to do was travel around and look for cryptids?
I'm just waiting for the day that I find out that I had a great uncle that was so taken by my charms that he wanted to leave me millions of dollars.
Oh, let me know when that happens.
Girl, I will not tell anyone but you. I'd be like, all of a sudden, there's 2 yachts in our yards.
It's like when they say, I'm not going to tell anybody I won the lottery, but there'll be signs.
I'm just saying, when your house just shows up, pay it off, say nothing.
When we open up Cryptid Unlimited LLC, there will be signs.
When we have pearls upon pearls to clutch.
When we have enough money to be knighted as an honorary sir, like Elton John, right? Wasn't he honorary knighted?
Oh, yeah.
Sir Elton John. When I am Sir Becky Johnson and you are Sir Jennifer Davis, PhD, cryptozoology, founder of Cryptid Expeditions LLC, there will be signs.
I'm just saying, if that doesn't sound like the most legit fucking LLC, I don't know what does.
I don't either.
It's too legit.
To
legit
quit. So anyway, back to the story. So these feces that they found Fecal analysis found a parasite which could not be classified. The United States government thought that finding the Yeti had become likely enough to create 3 rules for American expeditions searching for it. So the government was like, all right, so we're like right on the cusp of finding the Yeti.
What year was this?
1959.
Okay, so was it the Cold War at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, so fuck the Cold War. I don't know.
You know what? Distraction techniques.
We need to settle this now.
Look away from the war. Let's talk about Yetis.
Fuck this communism. That is a distraction.
That is a thing of the past.
The real thing. The real news
is we might be on the cusp of finding a Yeti. So we're going to impose these 3 rules on Yeti hunters.
Were these like rules, like laws,
First,
like had to be passed by Congress?
I don't know. I didn't.
Because if so, I would vote that congressman back in again.
Re-election locked.
You believe in Yetis? Say less.
Vote for the Yeti by voting for me. So the first rule, you have to obtain a Nepalese permit. The second rule, and I'm here for this one, do not harm the Yeti unless it's in self-defense.
Love it already. That's a first for America, though.
It really is. Usually it's shoot first, ask questions later,
exactly.
Then plant a gun. Oops, sorry. I am so sorry.
Shut up. Leave it in. You gotta leave it in.
I never had my ringer on. And the third rule was let Nepalese government approve any news reporting on the animal's discovery.
America putting another country's feelings first? What?
That's been going on forever, Jennifer.
Oh, that's right. True. That's true. It's true.
So in 1953, some of these dates are out of order because some things just went together and I had to group them together. And
no, that makes sense though.
Throw in the other stuff.
I had to do that though with like talking about like Rasputin. Like sometimes you have to go backwards and then flip back and forth because it doesn't make sense just one sentence on its own.
Exactly.
I got you, girl.
Thank you.
We're professional podcasters.
We are. In 1953, a Tibetan called Chimid Rigzin Dorji Lopu. That's not even fairy as 4 names, and they're probably all incorrect. But
I like it. I'm here for it.
He claimed to have examined 2 mummified Yetis, one at a monastery and the other at a monastery in Sakya. The other one was Rawuchi. He described them as enormous monkeys, 2.4 meters high. They had thick, flat skulls, and their bodies were covered with dark brown hair about 3 to 5 centimeters long. Their tails were extremely short. Investigating the mystery in the 2000s, Peter Pesavento emailed both monasteries making inquiries about the mummies. He's like, yo, what's up, famous 2000? Let me get over there and see these bodies. The Sakya did not respond, but Samington O'Sullivan wrote back on behalf of the other one and revealed that, well, see, what had happened, fam, was the original monastery had been raided during the Chinese annexation of Tibet in 1950 to 51, and its contents had been looted or burned. But remember, they were examined in 1953. But homie's like, like 2 years before that.
Yeah, like it just happened, guys.
They didn't have the bodies anymore because people stole them and burned them.
Like, dang it.
It sounds like, panic. You find some mummied Yetis. You're like, look, I know what happens when people like take like gold coins and shit up out the ground or mummies out of their things. Like, unleashes Pandora's box, so we should just go ahead and burn these bitches. In 1983, Himalayan conservationist Daniel C. Taylor and Himalayan natural historian Robert L. Fleming Jr. led a Yeti expedition into Nepal's Barun Valley. Suggested by the discovery of Barun in 1972 of footprints alleged to be Yeti. The Taylor-Fleming expedition also discovered Yeti-like footprints, intriguing large nests in trees, and vivid reports from local villagers of 2 bears weighing about 150 pounds.
That's some small bears.
They are. And they were...
I'm not a bearologist, though.
You are not.
Just a cryptozoologist.
Read a couple articles and you can be. Further interviews across Nepal gave evidence of local belief in 2 different bears. Skulls were collected. Those were compared to known skulls at the Smithsonian Institute, American Museum of Natural History, and British Museum, and confirmed identification of a single species, the
I like wait for it.
the Asic black bear, showing no morphological difference between tree bear and ground bear.
Sound like a caveman. This bear, tree bear. This bear, ground bear.
Black bear, blue bear, red bear, blue bear. So now we're going to move on to the 21st century. In 2004, Henry Gee, editor of the journal Nature, mentioned the Yeti as an example of folk belief deserving further study, writing, "The discovery that Homo florencinus survived until so very recently in geological terms makes it more likely that the stories of other mythical human-like creatures such as Yeti are founded on grains of truth." So he's like, there's a little bit of truth, but you know, take it with a grain of salt. In early December,
So there's a possibility, is what you're saying.
So what you're telling me is
there's a chance
they exist.
Take it. Facts.
In early December 2007, American television presenter Joshua Gates and his team Destination
Oh my
Truth.
God, I love Josh Gates. Oh, I love Destination Truth.
Well, now you should love him even more. Reported finding a series of footprints in the Everest region of Nepal resembling descriptions of Yeti. Each of the footprints measured 13 inches in length with 5 toes that measured a total of 9.8 inches across. Casts were made of the prints for further research. The footprints were examined by Jeffrey Meldrum of Idaho State University, who believed them to be too morphologically accurate to be fake or man-made, before changing his mind after further investigations. Later in 2009, in a TV show, Gates presented hair samples for a forensic analysis, concluding the hair contained an unknown DNA sequence.
Dun, dun, dun. Have you ever watched that show, Destination Truth?
No.
Fucking hysterical. You would love the shit out of that.
Well, the fact that they took casts of a Yeti footprint and had some hair DNA tested, I'm here for it.
All day long. They look for like ghosts, all these different kind of cryptids.
Love it. Again, dream job. On July 25th, 2008, the BBC reported that hairs collected in the remote Garo Hills of northeast India by Dipu Merrick had been analyzed at Oxford Brookes University in the UK by primatologist Anna Necris and microscopy expert John Wells. These initial tests were inconclusive, and ape conservation expert Ian Redman told the BBC that there was similarity between the cuticle pattern of these hairs and specimens collected by Edmund Hillary.
I feel like I'm learning a lot.
I know, right?
Like,
we're here to teach, too.
I love this.
This is from one of my lectures in my cryptozoology class.
What's the university
I teach a class at my house to my family. They pay good money for this class.
I would.
There's a wait list, though. So any of you interested, you have to get on the wait list. And when one of my family members...
There's an application process. You have to meet with a lot of different types of professors. All the professors are Becky in different costumes. You'll enjoy it, really.
You have to write an essay. But there's no spots until one of my family members drops out, and they're not allowed to. So
suck it.
Exactly. But feel free to go through the interview process. It's a lot
of
fun.
There's a non-refundable application fee of $500. So
Cash App only.
Venmo, Zelle, Cash App,
Not Venmo. They really keep record for taxes.
Oh shit.
And I'm trying to throw in a little tax evasion. So
No. Like, so Cash App, Zelle.
Or my friend, Good Heart Cash.
And
there is a $10 discount if you pay cash.
And if it's all in just big bills, so it looks like a small stack of money, incognito. You know what I'm saying? I've thought about this.
I actually prefer a large sack full of ones that looks like you just robbed a bank in the 1940s. Very Bonnie and Clyde.
that movie, Wolf of Wall Street. Have you ever watched it? There's one scene where Margot Robbie, her character is laying on a bed of dollar bills, naked.
I'm here for it.
And she said it was the worst scene because she got up and she had paper cuts all over her fucking back.
That's terrible.
I was like, that had to be not real money, because if it was real money, she'd be dead. Like, you think all the germs from the ass cracks of strippers to, somebody's fucking bottom of their change jar, the bottom of their car.
Right? And can I side note and just say how awesome it would be if I went to go buy some groceries and I took my sack of dollar bills in the bank robber sack in there and pulled it out to pay. Just saying it would be epic, but whatever.
Just blue dye all over you. I just need Cheerios.
It would be featured on one of those episodes of What Would You Do? Where they film the people and see how their reaction is.
Listen, I got stuck in a porta potty, okay?
Yeah.
These bills have nothing to do with it.
That's all. By the way, you never saw me here. So, at a 2011 conference in Russia, participating scientists and enthusiasts declared having 95% evidence of the Yeti's existence. However, the claim was disputed later. American anthropologist and anatomy guy, anatomist, Jeffrey Meldrum. See, we learned you guys
done the computer thing.
I should have. Who was present during the Russian expedition, claimed the evidence found was simply an attempt by local officials to drum up publicity.
Of course.
A Yeti was reportedly captured in Russia later in December. Initially, the story claimed
Sounds like good old Christmas fun.
It does. Yeti hunting? We should be a new tradition. Initially, the story claimed that a hunter reported having seen a bear-like creature trying to kill one of his sheep. But after he fired his gun, the creature ran into the forest on two legs. The story then claimed that the Border Patrol soldiers captured a hairy two-legged female creature similar to a gorilla that ate meat and vegetation. This was also later revealed to be a hoax or possibly a publicity stunt for charity.
Once again, we all know that publicity stunts are only done for nefarious reasons.
Thank you. In April 2019, an Indian Army mountaineering expedition team claimed to have spotted mysterious Yeti footprints measuring 32 by 15 inches near the Malaku Base Camp. They'd be finding Yeti footprints everywhere. He don't know how to disguise.
But they're always finding footprints. They found feces one time, but my one question was like, how do you know? Did you be like, that poop don't look like that person's that dog's
That's
poop?
what I was wondering too. Like, that pile of shit looks very interesting.
Like, I could tell deer poop, but deer poop also looks like big rabbit poop. Who is out here determining how someone's poop should look?
Girl, you got me.
Very poopist of them.
I don't really practice the part of cryptozoology over feces, but maybe later in my career I will, and I'll get back to you on that. Any other fellow cryptozoologists
when you get paid
out
more
there?
than $0.00.
Yes. Once the applications start rolling, which I have a feeling they will be very soon. Especially since I'm running the $10 off special.
If you do not end up getting a huge chain with a diamond encrusted Yeti, I'll be very disappointed. Sorely.
Mother's Day is coming up.
You better get her that Mr. T chain.
Are out there. Whether he comes through or not, I don't know.
Better yet, make it a Yeti that looks like Mr. T on a Mr. T-esque chain.
Or better yet, make it a Yeti wearing a chain that is Mr. T.
I pity a fool.
So, proposed explanations. The misidentified...
I hate this part. Debunking.
I know.
Such a party pooper.
The misidentification of Himalayan wildlife has been proposed as an explanation for some Yeti sightings, including the chuti, a langur monkey living at lower altitudes, the Tibetan blue bear, or the Himalayan brown bear, or the Himalayan red bear.
This blue bear. It's killing me. What is a Tibetan blue bear?
Himalayan.
If they don't call him little blueberry for short, I don't even know what to do.
They don't call him blueberry for fun.
Himalayan blue bear doesn't sound like he Himalayan if he's a blue bear.
What's he look like?
Oh my God, he looks so derpy. Hold up. Look at this thing. Him and not a laying.
Him's adorable. Look at all that fur.
Look at them ears.
He's like, I'm not fat. I just got a lot of fur.
I'm just building mass, you know? Just bulking up.
Hibernation's coming up.
Don't judge me. I'm body positive.
He's actually adorable.
He is.
A well-publicized expedition to Bhutan initially reported that a hair sample had been obtained by which DNA analysis by Professor Brian Sykes could not be matched to any other known animal.
You know, I don't want to knock us spending money on DNA to prove if the Yeti's here or not. But also, what if we use DNA for actually?
For you mean the boxes and boxes of unsolved crimes and rapes? What if we...
How often have you seen, like, okay, Cold Justice, obviously one of my favorite. Okay, Kelly is my girl, always with her reenactments. A lot of the times those cases get solved on her show because they have the money to send stuff off to for DNA that the little old police department could not. That is sad. That in America, you have to offer a sitcom to pick your crime. To send that shit out for DNA.
Could you imagine going to a police station? You're like, sir, it's been 2 years and we still haven't solved my child's murder. When are you going to test the DNA? He's like, ma'am, we are backlogged with the Yeti fingers and feces scalps right now. We will get to it.
It's just coming out of the yin yang, and we have a system, a priority here, okay? We know your kid's dead, but is the Yeti real?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
So we'll get to it.
We're moms. Everybody loosen up. Loosen up.
I'd be like, I must be in an alternate universe now. Analysis completed after the media release, however, clearly showed the samples were for a brown bear.
Damn it.
And that Asia black bear, the one I keep messing up the name. In 1986, South Tyronian mountaineer Reinhold Messenger.
Okay, that's a badass name.
Well, I'm sure
everybody in this story has badass names. Okay,
I
Peter
know,
Byrne.
Say any of them.
What's it?
Tom Slick.
Tom Slick,
also referred to as Slick Rick.
Slick Rick.
Just kidding, I made that up.
I'm a pickle Rick.
Reinhold claimed in his autobiography, My Quest for the Yeti, that the Yeti is actually an endangered Himalayan brown bear, which can walk both upright or on all fours.
That's terrifying.
I know, right? In 1983, Balrun Valley discoveries prompted 3 years of research on the tree bear, possibly by Taylor, Fleming, Craig Hold, and Sarista. From that research, the conclusion was that the Asia black bear, when about 2 years old, spends much time in the trees to avoid attack by larger male bears on the ground. During this tree period that may last 2 years, young bears train their inner claw outward, allowing an opposable grip.
So how sad was the day that they all were sitting around in their lab coats going, it's a brown bear. It's not a Yeti. We failed, guys. We failed.
Could we all make a pact right now that we just go with Yeti?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to leave this room.
Well, besides, are you talking about in theory on that situation? Or are you talking about us? Because
no, them.
Oh, okay.
You think
I'll be with you if we go out searching for the Yeti and we find a bear instead. Fuck that. It's a Yeti.
Exactly.
It's a fucking Yeti. We ride or die.
Because if I drink enough of this wine, it's a Yeti.
It's a woo.
The imprint in the snow of a hind paw coming over the front paw that appears to have a helix, especially when the bear is going slightly uphill, so the hind paw print extends, the overprint backward makes a homoid appearing track, both in that it is elongated like a human foot, but with a thumb, and that the four-footed animal's gait now appears bipedal. And I think they intentionally used a bunch of big words and a bunch of long sentences to confuse you to do the face you just did. Sounds plausible. Because I actually don't know what the fuck she just said.
That's exactly what
I heard. Something about some claws and some paws and some snow, and I got Yeti from it. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
But those blue Himalayan bears.
They are adorable.
They are adorable. Duck bears.
The Yeti discovery, in the words of National Geographic magazine editor Bill Garrett, on-site research sweeps away much of the smoke and mirrors and gives us a believable Yeti. And I'm going to be the first to say it on record.
On record.
If the National Geographic magazine says there's a Yeti, there's a motherfucking Yeti.
You know how many National Geographics I've read in doctor's offices? They've never steered me wrong.
Ever.
Now
I just need them to
You might as well say Steve Irwin is a liar. And you won't, because he wasn't. He's
Thank you.
amazing.
R.I.P. We got a vibe. This fieldwork in Nepal's Baran Valley led directly to initiating the 1984 Makalu Baran National Park that protected over 500,000 acres in 1991. And across the border with China, the, not even going to try to say it, National Preserve.
That's the part of the story that you get to that you're like, fuck it.
I'm done. And you know what? Hold on. I got you, fam.
Oh, thanks, HP. Not a paid endorsement, but you can be.
You
HP,
can.
you listening? I'll promote you.
China to Comalanga.
Whoa.
The Comalanga.
China Comodalanga?
The border between China, the Comalanga National Nature Preserve, and the Tibetan Autonomous Region that protected over 6 million acres. In the words of the honorary president of the American Alpine Club, Robert H. Bates, this Yeti discovery has apparently solved the mystery of the Yeti, or at least part of it, and in doing so added to the world's great wildlife preserves. So they actually made a protected area for the Yeti, and I'm here for it.
This is like the best.
Isn't it? Heartwarming.
Where is this at now? Nepal?
Yeah.
Okay, if it wasn't for being in Nepal, I would say sign me up.
He said, such that the shy animal that lives in trees, and not the high snows, and the mysteries and myths of the Himalayans that it represents can continue with a protected area nearly the size of Switzerland. Giving back to the
I
Yeti.
love it. You got to. You know what I mean? He's paid the price. You know how
He
many
has.
scalps they've lost?
They've stole his shit, his fingers, his scalp.
Motherfucker just walking around, bald, fingerless. Plenty of shit, though. Always, I'm sure.
In 1986, Reinhold Messner claimed to have a face-to-face encounter with the Yeti. In his book, he claims to have killed one. According to Messenger, the Yeti is actually the endangered Himalayan brown bear that we talked about, which can walk both upright and all fours, to which I have to say, good job, jackass. This is why we can't have nice things. You killed the endangered Himalayan blackbird or Yeti, either one. Good job. Thanks for writing a whole book about it. Talking about, I killed this son of a bitch.
I'm just saying, you don't put your crimes in writing. And if you're killing something that's endangered, it sounds a little illegal. Also, you're crushing my fucking dreams, you fucking
Yes.
just horrible human. You might as well be a debunker at this point. Like,
You might as well been around and killed the dinosaurs too.
just taking it all from us. All from us.
This is probably one of my favorite answers to the Yeti. In 2003, a Japanese researcher and mountaineer, Dr. Makoto Nobuka, published the results of his 12-year linguistic study, postulating that the word Yeti is a corruption of the word Medai, a regional dialect term for a bear. Nobuku claims that the ethnic Tibet...
I hate him. I hate him.
I
hate him.
I know.
Oh, it's a translation problem. Well, you know what? You're a cryptid problem.
Nobuku claims that the ethnic Tibetans fear and worship the bear as a supernatural being. Nobuku claims were subject to almost immediate criticism, and he was accused of linguistic carelessness. Dr. Raj Kumar Panley, who has researched both
Oh my God,
Yetis...
you said that so naturally.
Thank you.
That was well done. Like, I am honestly impressed. Like, the way you're slaying these names in this
Thank
story.
you. I didn't even try.
Oh, I love it.
Who has researched both Yetis and mountain languages, says it is not enough to blame the tales of the mysterious beast of the Himalayas on words that rhyme but mean different things. So here's my take. I think linguistics man is probably correct. These white people probably went there, and these Tibetans told them about their bear that was their god and so on, which is a very common thing in different tribes and cultures. And the white people, of course, fucked up the language, as your girl is still doing today, and came back and they're like, bro, they talk about this Yeti. And it's like, no, they were talking about the blue bear. And then it just kind of spiraled out of control from there.
And now we can't ever admit that it's not a real thing.
Exactly.
That's real. That's it. We're committed. It's for life.
Now, why that was one of my favorite, this one is 1 million bajillion quadrillion my favorite explanation. Favorite.
Is it
I
aliens?
will live and die. Nope.
Oh.
I will live and die by this one. Some speculate these reported creatures could be present-day specimens of an extinct giant ape, Gigantopithecus. Look him up. I'm gonna do my next cryptid on him. However, the Yeti is generally described as bipedal, and most scientists believe that Gigantopithecus to be quadrupedal and so massive that unless it evolved specifically as a bipedal ape like the hominids, walking upright would have been more difficult for the now extinct primate than its extinct quadrupedal relative, the orangutan. However, the late Dr. Grover Krantz has pointed out that the lower jaw of the Gigantopithecus widens and flares out, indicating the neck vertebrae would be directly under the head, suggesting an upright stance. If you look up pictures of him, and you should, go ahead, do it right now. I'll spell it for you.
Okay, good. Because I was like, you want me to look that up, but I don't.
All right. Gigantopii.
Oh, Google picked right up on this. Okay. Oh, wow.
I do believe he could be the actual Yeti.
He could be.
And he will be the next cryptid I cover. He became extinct because Neanderthals hunted and killed him. He's much larger than Neanderthals if you see pictures.
Especially if you do one like this. Like, oh, man, maybe it was like, because you remember they were talking about an orangutan earlier.
Mm-hmm. So I do think the Yeti existed. Did you look it up too? So he's going to be the next cryptid I cover because then I was like, ooh, but then I was like, don't go down the rabbit hole, Becky. Finish this one. The Yeti has broad shoulders, unlike those of bears, whose scapulas lie close to the body. The Yeti walks erect, bears do not. The Yeti seems to have an opposable thumb, allowing it primitive tool use such as hurling rocks. And if the Yeti ain't throwing rocks at motherfuckers and shuffling snow around blocking paths, I don't want any part of him.
Nope.
No bears can do this.
No. Well, not that we've seen. Have you seen Cocaine Bear?
He might be able to.
You have enough the other kind of snow.
Right?
Anything's possible.
Moreover, eyewitness accounts describe a flat, ape-like face unlike any of that of a bear.
That's what people say about me.
Our giant friend there, or some other giant ape, seems like a more plausible explanation for the Yeti. So basically, my boy Grover is saying it's possible, so stop harshing our vibe and let us search and believe in the Yeti assholes.
Let me have this. Let me have this.
Am I hurting you? Are we hurting you?
No, we are not.
Except maybe the person whose hand almost magically got replaced. He got hurt.
Either that or that was a very dedicated Yeti cryptozoologist.
That's true. They could still be alive and have just said, I'll take one for the team.
Walk around with just a nub.
Yeah.
You know, because they said just a finger, right? Or was it the whole hand?
The whole hand.
Oh, I mean, people have lawnmower accidents all the time, which is like opportunity.
Well, maybe in lieu of volunteering his hand, they got him a golden hand like Jamie Lannister.
Listen, I'm gonna pick a gold hand any fucking day. You want to think about karate chopping a bitch with that?
Well, think about me telling JJ my pimp hand is strong.
It's so fucking strong. It's gonna be a Thanos kind of. I'm gonna put some fucking jewels up in the knuckle. Really make sure you feel the sizzle.
All you have to do is just look at your kids and raise your hand like you're gonna backhand them. I promise.
Listen,
they will get straightened up.
I can imagine myself with the weight, just not being used to it, and going to fling it up and hitting myself.
They're like, dumb
knocking
bitch.
myself out. Mom's fine. She got a little pissy. She'll be up in about 5 minutes.
Although she's bleeding this time. That hasn't happened before.
I think she has a black eye. Maybe a broken eye socket. Who knows?
Who knows? We'll find out when she wakes up. In 2013, only 10 years ago, a call was put out by scientists from the University of Oxford and Lucerne for people claiming to have samples from these sorts of creatures. A mitochondrial DNA analysis of 12S RNA gene was undertaken on samples of hair from an unidentified animal from Latka in northern India on part of the Himalayas and one from Bhutan. These samples were compared with those in GeneBank, the international repository of gene sequences, and matched a sample from an ancient polar bear jaw bone found in Slavod, Norway. that dates back to between 40,000 and 120,000 years ago. That's fucking wild. They have a polar bear jawbone from that long ago. And then
it's just a wild that there's been that, you know what I mean? Like
that long. Yeah. The results suggest that bearing hoaxes of planted samples or contamination, bears in this region may have been taken to be the Yeti. Professor of evolutionary genetics at the University of Cambridge, Bill Amos, doubted the samples were of polar bears in the Himalayas, but was 90% convinced that there is a bear in this region that may have been mistaken for a Yeti. Professor Brian Sykes, whose team carried out the analysis of samples of Oxford University, has his own theory. He believes that the samples may have come from a hybrid mix of a bear produced from mating between a brown bear and a polar bear. A research of 12S RNA published in 2015 revealed that the hair samples collected are most likely those of brown bears. In 2017, a new analysis compared mtDNA sequences of bears from the region with DNA extracted from the hair and other samples claimed to have come from the Yeti. It included hair thought to be from the same preserved specimen as the anonymous Sykes sample, and it showed to have been a Himalayan brown bear, while other portraited Yeti samples were actually from the Tibetan blue bear, Asian black bear, and a domestic dog.
Throw that in there. Listen, I just think polar bear and a dog. That's a very unlucky dog.
do you think somebody was like, let's see if they're really testing this shit. Let's put Rover's hair in there and see if they figure it out it's his. And they're like, damn, they really did test it.
But look at him go.
Just think of all this money spent and all this DNA testing they're doing on some fucking
multiple
hairs.
times too.
Yes. In 2017, Daniel C. Tyler published a comprehensive analysis of century-long Yeti literature, giving added evidence to the explanation building on the initial Bahrain Valley discoveries. Importantly, this book under the Oxford University imprint gave a meticulous explanation for the iconic Yeti footprint photographed by Eric Shapton in 1950, also the 1972 print, as well as other explained Yeti footprints. To complete this explanation, Taylor also located a never-before-published photograph in the archives of the Royal Geographic Society taken in 1950 by Eric Shapton that includes scratches that are clearly bear nail marks. So see, they just finding old pictures and shit.
Did you hear the story of Henry Zabrowski buying a Bigfoot print cast?
No.
He said at a Comic-Con or whatever, and this guy's like, this is the only one I've got, and it was like some insane amount. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy it. He buys it. He walks away, but he turns around, and the guy pulls out another one, puts it on the fucking table. I'd be like, that would be me, man. I would be like, so what? It's the only one, guys. I gotta get it.
Who's gonna know?
$700. It's priceless. Jimmy's like, the fuck?
So to wrap it up, there's a couple side notes of interest. There are quite a few shows, video games, and cartoons that feature the Yeti, but the most recommended to check out will be an episode in the 2010 The Animal Planet series, The Lost Tape, features the Yeti, an episode in season 3 where it wanders around a Russian freighter that it was smuggled in, killing the crew members and some reporters who sneak onto the ship. So if you want to see some real life Yeti footage, hit up Animal Planet, The Lost Tapes. Not sponsored, but they can sponsor us if they want.
I mean, we are cryptozoologists, so Animal Planet, just saying, it's right up your alley.
So it was probably more information than you ever wanted to know on the Yeti.
No, it was the perfect amount. Like,
Thank
I loved
you.
every bit of that.
I wrote this one for my nephew because he really liked the Mothman, so I thought he would enjoy the Yeti. So shout out, Andrew. Tell me what you think. So sources: Cryptids Fandom, Wikipedia, of course, Cryptids Archives, CNN.com, Yeti Scientific Proof Study. That's right, CNN reported on this shit.
You know what cracks me is every time we say or I won't think about it in the moment that I'm researching and I'm writing down my references until later. I'm like, this is just a whole smorgasbord of weird ass places to look.
Right?
I got a source from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. There was a killer? Like, have you not seen Lady Elaine and tell me that those eyes are not dead?
But that was so fun. Wow, look, a whole nother hour on the Yeti. You're welcome, world.
I'm just saying.
Who knew they needed 2 hours of Yeti information?
Exactly.
Jennifer knew she did.
I did. I could go all week long. I'm ready for you to go down the next wormhole on the gigantus, you know that word.
Yeah. I'll have it down to a T whenever I do it. He's my
To a
next
T.
cryptid. I'm super excited to cover
It's like
him.
me and my one Russian word, Pokroskovia.
Exactly. I'm going to have it down. And then I'm just going to find ways to interject it into sentences.
I just want you to know that I know what the name
Oh
of
my
this
God.
thing
That
is.
was like when the giant pictosaurus roamed the earth. And they're like, we were talking about where we're going to dinner. I know, but he ate dinner too.
Like, this is just like what he would. Let me tell you this funny story about the gigantic pictosaurus. Well, you guys check us out on the social media. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us on your whatever platform you're listening to. Please give us a review. Let us know what we're doing right. Let us know what we're doing wrong. Although I've never known us to be wrong.
Thank you.
We're just doctors of cryptozoology. Who are we? Just two girls
Teaching classes about cryptids.
with our best friends. Tell us your own too close to home stories. Have you met the Yeti? Do you have his hand?
Do you have his poop?
Do you have and how did you know it was his poop?
Enlighten us. I haven't got to that
Yeah.
in my studies.
Yeah, we missed that whole wormhole of feces, so.
We did. We did.
Somebody didn't open those can of feces. Did I miss anything?
You never miss anything. You're perfect.
Oh my God, stop it. I love you. Well, until next time,
Stay safe.
keep your head on a swivel.
And don't bring it too close to home unless that means spending hours of your life researching the Yeti to share with the world.
I mean,
In that case,
open
open your door and welcome it in.
Welcome it in. Lose yourself in it. Don't be a bummer and be like, it's just this. It's just a bear. It rhymes with bear. No, it doesn't. It's real. Acknowledge. They're equal to.
Accept.
Inclusivity.
Inclusivity.
This is 2023 and be inclusive. Let's be Yeti positive, okay?
Thank you. Positive messages.
Bye.
Peace out.
If you enjoyed this episode of Too Close to Home, don't forget to rate and subscribe to us on most platforms. Follow us on our social media at Too Close Home Pod on Facebook, at Too Close Podcast on Instagram, or if you have your own Too Close to Home experience, shoot us your story at tooclosetohome@yahoo.com. Thanks for listening.